They are the machines at the limits of the pulling spectrum. At the exotic end are the modifieds, tractors with engines from a mad scientist's imagination. Far more routine are the light-limited Pro Stocks, close cousins to the workhorse tractor, but capable of a wheels-up ride. Both classes compete today as the Outlaws take over Nebraska.
In the heart of the Midwest, there's a band of modern-day marauders. Mounted atop their beasts, they line up to throw down. They are outlaws.
Welcome to the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Series. I'm Claude Wood, and along with Dave Bennett and Rick Carlson, we will be bringing you today's action featuring the remarkable modified tractors. So, Dave, why are they called modified?
Run what you brung. Just keep stacking it on there, whether it be an airplane engine, whether it be 3 Chevrolets, whether it be 2 Hemis, or whatever. As long as you stay within the rules, just get it on.
All right, give us a little bit of tractor pulling 101.
Hey, you hook onto a mechanical sled, you go down the track. As the tires turn, their weight moves from the rear to bam. And at that point, whoever can pull that sled the furthest is going to be the winner.
And our first puller will be Donald Nelson, the Twisted Whip. Dave, this is a brand new tractor.
It is and it ain't. It is redesigned for a fact. Change the frame, change the little position. Notice the motors are turned around backwards, one pointed forward, one pointed backwards, and oh, we're testing that frame out. Twisting and cranking on it. Drifting over to that left side. Don Nelson going to start it off with 277.08.
And Dave, as we go to the replay, you brought up the point of the engines are turned around backwards. What would the reason for that be?
Well, basically offsets the torque. The front motor torquing to the right, the back motor torquing to the left. It's supposed to be easier on the frame, but he's testing it just a little bit right there. He didn't want to go to the left, but he is going to have to live with that distance that he can.
That'll bring up Wayne Longnecker driving River Rat. And Dave, this is one of the most unique engines we'll see today.
One of a kind modified in the United States, running with the Outlaws. Rolls-Royce Griffin out of a Shackelford English airplane. Oh, he's going hard left. This man broke a rear end, a right rear axle off this tractor the very first show of the season. So his first competitive run of the year all the way down the track is going to be a good one at 293 and 94. That's going to put him in the lead. Watch this replay now. I'm sure he's not going to like this left-hand turn. Might have been right where he wanted to go because he's going to get a good distance out of it. So with the lead, let's find out what he has to say. Let's go down to Rick Carlson.
Well, it's nice to be the new leader, but I don't know how long that'll hold up. But that was a decent run. That was really our first run of the year. And we got a couple of things we need to do. Seemed like I wanted to go left real hard, so we gotta work on that. But other than that, it's, you know, the motor ran reasonably well, so got to be happy with that run.
Well, all 2,600 cubic inches, and you got parts next door, so must be a piece of cake.
Well, I don't know about a piece of cake, but you know, when it's working right, it's fun.
This is Donald Nelson again, now driving the Texas Bullwhip, his second pull today.
Well, we just left a tractor that is a V12. Now we're going to a tractor that's an inline 6-cylinder. This is a DT466, Don's second tractor. Hopefully he gained enough knowledge off of his first pass that'll help him out on this one. And he's going to go in there with a distance of 280 and 38. The little 6-cylinder hammering pretty hard on it right there. Straight off the line, front end up, hard in charge.
Don Nelson really got a lot of advantage out of that little 6-cylinder.
Oh yeah, them 3 turbos working really hard.
First tractor 277, Texas Bullwhip at 280.
First tractor, I think, was a little heavy on the front end, maybe one weight. I moved back 100 after I pulled the first tractor on this Bullwhip tractor. It seemed to really load the motor. It pulled hard. Weight was good. That's all I could do with this tractor tonight.
And I think you still like driving this one.
This is my baby right here. That's a brand new tractor this season. We gonna have a lot of fun with the new tractor. We just got to get some seat time on it.
What a great crowd on hand today, enjoying all of the exciting pulling action. And there's more coming at you when we come back.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Bauer Built. Our strength is in our people and the customers we serve. Will Cross Seed. Good product, good prices, good service. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Welcome back to Ravenna, Nebraska, and you're looking at an antique tractor. Well, we've come a long way from that to the crazy screaming modifieds. This is Sweet Pain, and earlier today, Dave took a look at how these three engines work together.
You've heard us talk about Outlaw modified tractors, how you can run an aircraft engine, the twin Hemis, or the three Chevrolets. We're going to focus on the three Chevrolets today. Everybody wants to know how you can tie three motors together where they work in unison. They think they got to be timed where every motor's hitting on number one at the same time. That's not true. You want every motor idling the same and pretty much at the same RPM at a high RPM. You do that by the butterflies. You run a feeler gauge underneath the butterflies to set your air intake. And then your fuel is governed by your barrel valve here on the front. The mechanics know what they're doing. The feeler gauge and the barrel valve set your idle and your high RPM. Now, this particular tractor runs three stair-step motors. Each motor's got a clutch. Each motor's got a drive line. Three motors, three clutches, three drive lines. The front motor has the drive line going underneath the second motor, which connects back to a collector box in between the second and the third. That's the main drive line that goes back into the reverse transmission in the rear end. Then your top motor drops down to that main drive line. You got three motors tied together. They idle the same RPM. They got the same high RPM. Spin the tires 100 miles an hour, and let's get it on.
Right, and now you know how it all works. Craig Ulmer, your farm show winner for the 5th year in a row by trade and engineering manager.
Man builds his own engine. He's got his own dyno, does his own work. Butterflies are wide open. He is high tire speed. Man alive, I can't tell from this angle, but he is so close. Look how close he is to that sideline. You want to have to get a look at this. We get a distance of 279.59, but coming down the line right here, we're going to get a close-up look at that sideline. Some people called him out of bounds. Some people called him inbounds. We're going to have to wait for a call. Just missed it by a ½ inch.
And Dave, he had really set up, it looked like he was about a foot from the line when he started.
Well, he knew he had a specific line he wanted to get to, but when you get a real close-up look at where that tire is, some people thought he was out, some people thought he was in. This is going to be a point for discussion.
Craig, you stayed all the way over to the right. It was close to the chalk. They say DQ and not DQ. I think we're probably going to have a visit.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to see what they have to say. I was pretty close, but as far as I could tell, I was still in bounds.
That will bring up Kyle Pitch in Thermal Thunder. Listen to this thing.
The T55 Lycoming Thermal Thunder. This man is a computer man. He works for a company for data storage. Way too much bounce. The boys have been playing with this motor, trying to figure out what's been going on with this T55. When you get a bounce like that, you're losing some horsepower.
Let's go on board. This is a wild and crazy ride.
You can only imagine sitting on top of a motor that's turning 20,000 RPM, but look how rough it is. I don't know what they're trying, but I bet you he tries to figure out how to do something a little bit different. Oh, I'm telling you what, rough it is. We'll get a different look. Now, Claude, take a look. You know, I like this straight-on shot, but boy, is he going to be bouncing around.
What made him go up in the air that far? That's crazy.
The horsepower trying to turn the tires 100 miles an hour, and the tires just couldn't get it done. The air pressure making it float up and down.
Just about like a bucking bronco.
It really was. We were trying a couple different combinations and come off the starting line really well, but then that left tire kind of collapsed on me and it put it into a hop, and at that point you're just at the mercy to see what you can do, you know, but we'll see what we can do tomorrow.
Our final puller is Brett Behrens, and he has another T55 turbine.
Looks very much built on the same scale as the Thermal Thunder. Got Brett doing the driving today. He and his brother teamed together on this tractor. Oh, got a little high, unloaded the rear tires. Wheelie bars went down, the drawbar went down. That's going to cost him some distance. He's looking around. He knew that wasn't a good hook. 276 and 21.
As we check out the final results, Wayne Longnecker got it all sewed up in first place. Official results have come in. Craig Ulmer indeed stayed in bounds. He is in third place. When we come back, a little more normal looking tractor class, but just as wild, the Light Limited Pro Stocks. Welcome back to Ravenna, Nebraska. Here come the Light Limited Pro Stocks, the battle of the brands, and hold on to your seat.
.466 cubic inches, going to put the power to the ground.
Let's get it started with David Jones driving Blowing Bucks. And I think I know, Dave, what he means with this one. He spent a lot of money.
There's a lot of it. Look at that side shield right there. You can see the big bill shining. Out of Sturtsville, Missouri, one of the few out of Missouri. This guy coming on strong. The big John Deere. Listen to that motor. And he used all the ponies. You'll see a lot of these tractors snuffed down at the end because to get the momentum, the gear ratio and such as that. Even got a fist bump from the flagman right there. He liked it.
He sure did. Let's go back to the replay. Watch this when he hammers down. He is really straight as an arrow right down the track.
And you got to. You go farther, the straighter you go, the farther you go. Used all his ponies. 298.71.
Spare time. This is Brady Gossler. I want you to take a look on the front end of this tractor. Look at that nostalgia hood.
Yeah, right there in front of the dash, old style look. Still got his turbo underneath there. Only one that I know of in the country that's still like that, but kind of takes you back in time. And this is a great running tractor. The spare time in the hunt and the points. This is their second week out. Yeah, he's gonna like it all right. 3:10.03. That's gonna make him go to the lead.
And he spots the sled right in the center of track. That seems to be the place of choice.
And nobody's like that left side all day long. Yeah, he done a little dancing right there with the steering wheel. You see the zigzag back behind him. It wasn't as straight as we thought it was, Claude, but still a great run.
Well, is that enough? You're going to be happy with it?
Oh, I'm always happy with a run like that, but there's a lot of good stuff behind me, and we'll see what happens.
It's still not taking that grin off your face.
No. When you make a pass like that and can drive off the track, it's always good.
Hometown boy representing today. This is Brad Campbell driving White Snake.
Well, the toughest show in the world to do good at is one that is right in your hometown. And this guy's going to try to break that homage. Up front end up in there. He's got it weighted pretty good. Well, there's some pretty good sparks underneath that seat, underneath that left fender. Not quite sure. Maybe he was, I'm going to say he's standing on the brakes right there. Notice how the sled track goes over. He done good, though. He's going to go to second place at 3:03 and 66. Coming off the line straight, but look at there, Claude. He is making a left turn.
Did the track do that?
The track is pulling the boys to the left. Power is over. Nobody's been over. Take them that away.
Here comes Big Red, driven by Travis Steen. He started off the season by winning the Western Farm Show, and Dave, he hasn't looked back since.
Hasn't looked back at all. Even last week in Arlington, Nebraska, he won it by like 8 feet. This guy is on a roll. This International has opened deer season all year long and has been mowing them down. And I'm saying he's doing it again. Look at there. He almost went past our camera. Man alive, what a run. 3:28.62. He just took the lead.
Let's take it back to the replay on this one. As the sun begins to set, how is that going to affect the track here?
That's really going to help this track out. It was starting to dry out, the sun beating down on it all day long. And as the guys go into the dark, that moisture starts coming up, and Travis just used every bit of it.
Good look at Brad Yonke, and he is driving a brand new tractor. We'll see how that shakes out.
Well, it's an International 1066. You see the sparks flying right there. That's just out of the clutch. He rode the clutch out, which is fine. You want to do that on some of these tractors. He would like to have a sponsor so he can figure out what kind of name he's going to put on the side of it. And a run like that will help him get a sponsorship. Got a distance of 3:17 and 13. That's going to put him in the number 2 spot with a brand new tractor.
He's fairly close to the center of the track, but boy, he ended up a little bit close to that out of bounds line, didn't he?
Yeah, he's had the front wheels turn when that front end goes up in there. And Claude, you're right. He's getting over to that side. And you can always keep in mind, if the pulling vehicle's got to stay inside the white line, not the sled.
Backing up, getting ready to go. This is Dirk Bowerly out of Imperial, Nebraska.
The high-dollar hooker. Play it as you will. You see a scatter blanket wrapped around the transmission, another one of the safety issues. You talk about dancing the front end. He is dancing the front end. Not going to get a distance that he'd really like to have. A little zigzag right there, 284 and 18.
As we go to the leaderboard, Travis Steen in Big Red. He has a 9-foot advantage right now, but 6 tractors will have something to say about that.
The Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association is brought to you by Sapp Brothers. Visit one of our 16 full-service truck stops today. Agency 212, Marketing, Communications, Public Relations. VP Racing, world leader in race fuel technology. And by Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping.
Welcome back to Ravenna, Nebraska, where night is falling, but many of the faithful are hanging in to see who will come out on top in the light limited pro stock class. This is Andrew Meister backing up his Case International Harvester. Earlier, Rick caught up with him.
Andrew Meister, you're here, unloaded, ready to go pulling, but this is a family tradition that's gone on for quite a while.
Yes, it is. I grew up pulling. My uncle kind of brought me into this. He was a mechanic by trade and farmed, and I guess that's when I moved home. He had a passing with cancer, and they parted ways with their tractor. So I moved home from the dealership after school and started farming, and then I opened up my own repair business and kind of took over from there. And once they parted with their tractor, I built my own, and things have been going in cruise control since then, I guess. So
it's that smooth just carrying on the family tradition.
There's a lot of hiccups down the road, but we get through and make it happen.
He calls it the dirt slinging demonstrator.
Yeah, the demonstrator has a play on that gold hood right there. Case IH come out with this series, had demonstrator tractors, and that's the way they was painted. Man out of West Point, Nebraska, he's walking and talking. No dancing around. That's a serious run until we run out of ponies right there on the end. He would like that motor to stay up there. He'd like to burn those tires in. Take a look at it on this replay right here. Wow, that is a really good launch right there, up in the air.
And not up in the air very far, as he set up really a little bit to the left of the track.
Yep, he got a really good distance. He's going to move into 4th place at 3:08 and 57.
A good look at Alan Shellum getting ready to pull. A lot of safety equipment there, from the gloves to the roll cage to the fire suit, and that's really what it's all about, being safe.
Constant chaos, off and a running. Here's one of you John Deere boys that will get up and play with anybody. Good smoke, good RPM, good burning in. He's going to be smiling. And he ought to be. 3:22.92 puts him in 2nd place. Claude, that's a really nice run right there.
That is a textbook run. Very little elevation as he launches right off of the line.
Little dancing down at the big end, but man, you gotta love it when you get a distance like that.
All in, this is Mike Eccles out of Murray, Iowa.
Eccles knows he's got his hands full. He's got some big guns in front of him. He's got to do it right. The all-in better be going all-in. Little high. Done a dido right at the front, got a little high. Trying to recover on the other end. The motor's trying to compensate for him. You see that motor burn in right there? 3:22.81, misses 2nd place by 11/100ths of a foot. And Claude, right there's where he done it, right there.
Well, Mike Eccles, he is the Rookie of the Year and 2013 points champion, by the way.
Well, he proved how good he was. If he could have kept that one little dido out of it, he'd have been there.
That'll bring up John Narragon, driving Rugrat Rampage. 5 top 3 finishes in 2014.
Yeah, he is a top runner for a fact. Man comes out of Del Rapids, South Dakota. Something went down on him. Something went down. That motor went down way too quick. Distance of 22, and 50. Not a rugrat run.
2 competitors left, and they drive John Deere's. This is Eric Clark driving Rackham.
Yeah, the John Deere boys, if they're going to gun down that international that ain't been beaten yet this year, they better get it on right. Rackham looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Front end's floating on him. Once again, you see them run out of horsepower. You got to get enough horsepower to burn those tires in to get those hundredths of a foot down there. He goes at 3:08 and 35.
Let's go to the replay, and right on the beginning, where did this go wrong for him? Just not enough horsepower at the beginning, or was that at the end?
He had a good launch. Front end got a little high on him, unloaded the tires one time. He did recover pretty good, but the motor just couldn't stay up at a high enough RPM.
And then there was one. This is Tim Duncloud.
Arlington, Nebraska, and ground force. I love that air horn right in the front. He's cramming that air into that turbocharger. Motor singing a song. I was listening to the motor right there. You can tell the intents of the driver leaning forward. He wants all the distance that he can get. Just burns it in on a distance. Oh, it's not going to be what he wanted, but 3:07 and 87.
Let's go to final results. There was no doubt about it. Travis Steen, driving Big Red, had this thing sewed up from the beginning.
Light Limited Pro Stock, Travis Steen, Big Red, 328 foot. Those are your numbers.
There they are, black and white. That was fun. That was a heck of a run. We laid down a good one, but we were hooked early in the class, and I was really worried about the other ones coming up and catching us.
Well, you're standing there trying to chewing on fingernails, getting a little bit nervous.
Dodging the bullets. There was a lot of big ones back there.
Well, you did it.
And that'll put a wrap on the action today from Ravenna, Nebraska. Wow, Dave, we've seen a little bit of everything today.
Oh, from modifieds to smoke, it don't get no better than that, and there is still more to come in other shows.
So for Rick Carlson and Dave Bennett, Claude Wood, so long.